Portal franchise is amazing. Both games are works of art that everyone should play. I've played Portal 2's campaign mode over a dozen times, and Portal 1's a few times as well. I've played Portal 2 far more only because I've had it longer. I recently replayed it on PC because I just got Steam a few months ago, and Portal 2 was super cheap and I wanted an excuse to use my PC. And now, because of that, I really wanted to talk about Portal. Also, I saw a video by the Gimsbach, I think that's how you pronounce it, about Portal 1 being better than Portal 2, and decided that would be a perfect way to talk about these games. So I'm just gonna borrow that idea, and without any further ado, let's dive straight in.
The portal will open in 3, 2, 1.
To compare Portal 1 and 2, instead of going over the games as a whole, I decided to compare different qualities separately. So what's the first quality I want to talk about? Puzzles. The puzzles in both Portal 1 and 2 are very good. Portal is known for its amazing puzzles, where they teach you with gameplay, not text. They're so good that Portal 2 reuses a few beginner puzzles from Portal 1. However, they did tweak one of them though. It was this one, where in Portal 1, the portal changes places every few seconds. It was annoying. If you weren't prepared for it or just made a mistake, you'd have to sit there and wait for the portal to move back where you wanted it to be. Portal 2 fixes this by allowing you to select where you want to put the portal. Portal 1 has quite a few of these moments where you just sit and wait for things to move. Portal 2 has a few, but I think they're toned down quite a bit. But don't think that doesn't mean Portal 2 doesn't waste your time. Oh, it definitely does. Just for an example, to start the game, you have to sit through this cutscene. There's a bit of meaningless tasks, a few jokes, and then you just wait for the game to start. They try and make it entertaining by having Wheatley talk to you, but it's not entertaining, especially if you've already played the game before. Portal 2 has a lot of these moments, and sometimes they're entertaining, sometimes they're not, but they're definitely not entertaining on a second playthrough. Both Portal 1 and 2 have escape puzzles as well, which aren't about figuring out how to solve a puzzle, but are just instead about looking for a portalable surface. Portal 1's I guess you can call this an escape sequence, has you behind the walls of the facility, looking for places to shoot your portals and escape. There are a few actual puzzles back here, but a lot of the time it's just moving around with portals, which is pretty fun because portals are cool. Portal 2 has a similar situation with old Aperture. However, here it's much bigger and open, and because of that, you aren't really moving around with portals as much. You do use portals to travel, but not as much. Also, since it's so much bigger, I found it harder to spot where the portable surfaces were when I first played it years ago. I don't have the problem now, but I'm not sure it's because I grew up and I'm just better at games, or just because I remember where they're at. Either way, Portal 1's small, cramped spaces were much more interesting and fun to explore than Portal 2's old Aperture. However, the basic puzzles are probably done better in Portal 2, since it has less waiting, excluding the set pieces. Yeah, I called them cutscenes. I should have called them set pieces. That's really what they are. Never, carry on. So, since there is still a lot of waiting in other areas, and since it steals some of the basic puzzles from Portal 1, I think I'm going to give this round to Portal 1. So, Portal 1, 1. Portal 2, 0. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the Companion Cube, which is a really cool puzzle in Portal 1 and just briefly joked about in Portal 2. So yeah, Portal 1 wins. Characters. When you talk about characters in Portal, or even just antagonists in general, GLaDOS is sure to come up. She is a great antagonist with an interesting backstory and a great design. In Portal 2. Yeah, the design you probably picture when I say GLaDOS is from Portal 2. Portal 1's design is different and in my opinion much worse. GLaDOS didn't even get her backstory with Carolyn until Portal 2, which we'll talk about later. Honestly, based on the looks alone, Portal 2 wins. However, there's one thing I haven't mentioned yet. Behavior. GLaDOS changes personalities between games, and that's not an accident, it's completely intentional. During GLaDOS' boss fight in Portal 1, you remove personality cores from her, changing her personality. Again, I'll go over the boss fight a little bit later, but for now, just listen to her voice before and after you kill one of the cores.
Time out for a second. That wasn't supposed to happen. Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did.
As you can see, a very robotic voice changes into something more human. Of course, it still sounds roboticized, but what she's saying and how she's saying it, it's just human. For the best example of this, just listen to her first line in Portal 2.
Oh, it's you.
See? Very human. Also in Portal 2, she insults you and becomes more childish and less threatening. Like, she's afraid of birds, which has some funny moments, but it's still not threatening. Instead of creepy, she just becomes rude. She's less of a robot and more of a person here, and whether that's a bad thing is up to you. However, GLaDOS isn't the only character in the game. Like Ratman. Ratman appears in both games as well, or should I say his dins do. he's actually never seen, but the hidden rooms he hid around in are. Each one is creepy and gives a small amount of lore. These rooms are really cool and add a bit of mystery and creepiness to these games. His rooms act basically the same in both games. I would say Portal 2's rooms are more hidden, but still, they're basically the same. The only other characters in the games are only in Portal 2. Characters like Wheatley, Cave Johnson, Carolyn, I guess you could even count the robotic narrator.
Good. Because of the technical difficulties we are currently experiencing, your test environment is unsupervised.
There's a much bigger roster in this game than there was in the first, and it feels much more crowded. You spend less time having GLaDOS talk to you, and instead have multiple other characters doing the narration. For instance, Cave Johnson takes the role as a narrator in Old Aperture.
All these science spheres are made of asbestos, by the way.
And what he says and does really changes the way you see Aperture. In the first game, Aperture Science was just a science laboratory that made inventions like the portal gun, high energy pellets, and of course, GLaDOS. In Portal 2, Cave Johnson is shown to be the founder, and he's shown to be an idiot. An idiot who doesn't spend his money properly and doesn't use the inventions he owns to their full potential. We know he sells turrets to the military, but that's about it. And I don't even think that lasted long, since we see a lot of them in Portal 2. So they clearly aren't being sold. And since, you know, the turrets are sentient and can turn on you, so why would the military want them? Not to mention, we see no mention of anything else being sold. Combine that with the fact that he did terrible business practices, having extremely dangerous tests and not caring who dies. Aperture is just a joke, and it was intended to be that way. If you like the way that Aperture appears like an idiot in Portal 2, or you prefer we didn't know much about them and assumed they were actually a pretty good company in Portal 1, either way, it's a difference. Personally, I don't really know. I enjoy the mysterious Aperture and the stupid Aperture. I don't really have a preference. Finally, the last character I want to talk about is Wheatley. He's Wheatley. He's an idiot. Literally, we're explicitly told that they made him to be an idiot. There are a few jokes throughout the game, and there are some funny moments, but because you're supposed to hear the joke, they stop you from progressing, and you just have to wait. Also, he doesn't sound like a robot, which isn't a big deal, but it's just a bit weird.
We go wherever we want. Just hold on though, where are we going? Seriously.
So all in all, the characters are good. I mean, they changed drastically between both games, but they're still pretty good. If I had to pick a winner, I don't know. The humor of Wheatley and Cave Johnson in Portal 2 is great, if not subtly annoying sometimes. But GLaDOS' creepiness in Portal 1 is too. So maybe a tie? Well, I'm giving this one to Portal 1. Portal 2 just has way too many instances where you can skip dialogue way too easily.
Then there was a sort of long chunk of time where
or where you're just stopped and forced to listen to it without doing any puzzles. Portal 1 has a handful of short times you're stopped and forced to listen, but it's far worse in Portal 2. So point to Portal 1. Portal 1, 2, Portal 2, still 0. Story. So I've already gone over part of the story, but I'll go a bit more in depth. Portal 1's story is quite simple and explained fairly well through the game. GLaDOS was made, built, and installed, and then tried to kill everyone. The scientists tried to stop her. Didn't work, now everyone's dead. Well, everyone except the man living in the walls. GLaDOS is now testing different subjects and then killing them, till eventually getting to you and you stop her, exploding the facility. Portal 2 builds onto this, explaining more about Aperture before GLaDOS, like talking about Cave Johnson and his assistant Carolyn. We learned that he made shower curtains and then bought a salt mine, which is where he built Old Aperture. Then he started running tests, hiring astronauts to participate in them. Of course, the tests were illegally dangerous and they died, and Aperture was inspected for the missing astronauts. They continued doing these dangerous tests, eventually even testing on the scientists working there. Eventually they found that you can use these panels made from moon rock to create portals. However, Cave Johnson accidentally inhaled some of the moon dust by mistake and is now deathly ill. He still has many ideas and wanted to make them into reality, so he made the scientists work on a way to make him immortal inside of a machine. However, he didn't know if they could finish the machine in time before he died, so he told all of his ideas to his assistant Carolyn and said that if he died, she was to be made into a robot. Forcefully. So she was, and she was turned into GLaDOS. GLaDOS went insane as soon as she was turned on and started killing people. Coincidentally, the day they turned her on was Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. One of the dollars brought was you, Chell, I'm not sure, the protagonist of both Portal games. She ends up in stasis, either placed there by GLaDOS or Ratman, I don't remember. Then she is woken up in Portal 1 just to kill GLaDOS and escape, but some robots pull her back in and place her under stasis again. Wheatley then wakes you up in order to escape, leading to the plot of Portal 2, where you defeat GLaDOS again and place Wheatley in charge when he immediately turns on you, causing you to team up with GLaDOS to defeat him. I really enjoy this story. Years ago, when I first played Portal 2, I watched every YouTube video about this that I could find. I loved this story. There is no competition. Portal 2 wins. I love this story and how it plays out, and I can't wait to see what happens next, if anything. So now, Portal 1, 2, Portal 2, 1. Funny. Is this ironic? I don't know. Atmosphere. There is a big difference in the way Portal 1 and Portal 2 look. Portal 1 is sterile, like it's supposed to be clean, but it's not. And the juxtaposition to the back rooms, no, not those back rooms, yeah, those. The juxtaposition is huge and makes it feel even more creepy and off-putting. Combine that with the fact that you see no people, not even in the dens where they're supposedly living in. No one's there. Where is everyone? What happened here? It's fantastic. Portal 2 is very different. The building is clearly abandoned, and you wake GLaDOS up at the beginning and immediately know that there's no one here. It's not creepy that you don't see anyone, because of course you don't, it's abandoned. And here, the art style changes multiple times throughout the game. Old Aperture looks different than these white panels, which again looks different than these turret production lines. There isn't really a juxtaposition here. However, there's still plenty to enjoy. There's huge areas that just fill you with awe. All of Old Aperture is huge and can be maze-like at some points. There's huge set pieces which look grand even if it's annoying that they take so long. I especially like that these tubes in Portal 1 carrying stuff around are used here in Portal 2 as level transitions, which is far cooler than just regular elevators like in Portal 1. So while Portal 1 and Portal 2 have cool atmospheres in their own right, Portal 1 is just much better in my opinion. It's the clear winner to me. So Portal 1, 3, Portal 2, 1. Ending. The ending to a game can be the most important part of a game, and in some cases, it's the best part. Portal 1's ending is decent. You escape GLaDOS' trap, exit into the back rooms, and then you just keep playing. And eventually, you get to some traditional puzzles, and then you just get to GLaDOS. No real build-up or anything. It's weird. Compare that to Portal 2. You also get a trap from Wheatley, but he continuously tries to kill you afterwards while you make your way to him. Till eventually, you get to him. Both boss fights are pretty fun and require you to use portals to force them to attack themselves. With GLaDOS, it's rockets, and with Wheatley, it's bombs. They also mirror each other very nicely. You have to take personality cores off of GLaDOS after every hit, but add them onto Wheatley after every hit. In Portal 1, it just ends after you do enough damage, and the facility explodes. In Portal 2, well, you go to press the button to stop Wheatley, but he's trapped it. You're knocked down, and the facility starts to break due to Wheatley's negligence. You look up, and you see the moon. You immediately know to shoot it because of the world building early in the game.
Ground up moon rocks are pure poison. I am deathly ill. Still, it turns out they're a great portal conductor.
So you shoot it, it sparkles, and Wheatley immediately starts getting pulled out. You get pulled out too, but you hold on to Wheatley to stay attached. GLaDOS knocks Wheatley into space, but saves you. This is a far better ending than Portal 1. I mean, GLaDOS does say the most cliche line in the history of cliche lines, but it's still way better.
I thought you were my greatest enemy, when all along you were my best friend.
But anyway, after both fights, you get a scene of you escaping. And Portal 1 is just you laying outside of the facility in what I think is a parking lot. Portal 2 instead has you take this elevator all the way up to the surface, which is really confusing because I thought you were on the surface. I mean, we did just see the sky, but now we're far underground. I don't know. Either way, you end up in the middle of a wheat field. And Aperture is apparently just an outhouse or something. The idea that the outside world just sees this entire facility as no more than an outhouse is really weird, and adds to the fact that Cave Johnson isn't letting this facility live up to its potential. Personally, I prefer the parking lot exit over this. But anyways, you're given a companion cube. Cool. And it ends. Credits roll and music starts. Both Portal games actually have really cool songs at the end, and both are really good.
You want your freedom, take it. That's what I'm counting on.
I think Portal 1's is a bit better in my opinion.
But there's no sense crying over every mistake. You just keep on trying till you run out of cake.
Also, Portal 2 has a singing turret song as well, which is also pretty good. And the end. I think you guys can tell which one is better. Portal 2, obviously. The moon portal is an epic ending, far better than just an explosion. So Portal 1, 3, Portal 2, 2. Multiplayer. Portal 1's multiplayer is non-existent. I mean, I guess you could discuss the story with friends or help them solve a puzzle or two that they're stuck on. Maybe share some Easter eggs that you found, but that's about it. There's no multiplayer mode, which is understandable. Portal 2's multiplayer is obviously better. It's super fun and has this perfectly white, sterile aesthetic, which I like. It also has different pings and emotes, which are all fun to use and mess around with. It's really well designed, and the puzzles themselves are also really fun and creative. So, I don't really know what else to say. Portal 2 gets the point, again, obviously. So, Portal 1, 3, Portal 2, 3. Extra content. Portal 1 doesn't really have any extra content in its original release that I know of, but its re-release, titled Portal Still Alive, which is the one that I played, does have some challenge stages. They're pretty fun, nothing too great, but still a bit of fun. Portal 2, however, man, They have an entire level editor, super easy to use editing tools, and there's some really good community made levels. You have hours and hours of content in this mode. It's fantastic. There's plenty of bad levels, but there's also plenty of good ones. There's a lot of fun to be had. I mean, I actually have 3 levels uploaded at the moment, which are pretty good if I do say so myself, so go play them. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. Portal 2 gets the point. Portal 1, 3, Portal 2, 4. Results. So that's results. Does that mean that Portal 2 is better? Not really. The point structure is pretty pointless. It was just an easy way to talk about the different subjects. So yeah, Portal 2 won more categories, but those categories aren't exactly equal. So which one's better? Well, that's kind of a complicated question. Portal 2 obviously has more content since it has a level editor, and it has way better multiplayer because it actually has multiplayer. But its campaign? Well, it's time consuming. Portal 1 can waste your time, but with enough skill, you can avoid a lot of it. Portal 2 is just wasting a lot. So if you're looking for a professionally made single player experience, then you should get both. Just get both. They're both fairly cheap and both amazing games. I'd obviously suggest playing Portal 1 before 2, but you should definitely play both. So if I were to rank them, I'd probably put Portal 2 above Portal 1 based on the side content alone, but as I said, Portal 1's campaign is better. However, there are technically more Portal experiences than just Portal 1 and 2. There's a LEGO Dimensions level about it, which I haven't played. There's a Portal Bridge Constructor, which I have played, and it's pretty good. And there's the new Aperture Desk Job, a free Steam experience. This game is really weird. The idea of working a desk job at Aperture is pretty cool, and the story is pretty good too, where you have a robot test his turret toilet, but the gameplay isn't that great. But you do get to see some humans, which is a first for the Portal series, I think. But the ending messes up a lot of the story we already thought we understood. Spoilers, by the way. The ending has you go to Cave Johnson's office to show him your toilet, and you're told he hasn't been seen in a while. In his office, you see a giant stone Cave Johnson head. Yeah, you know how he wanted to be an immortal robot but died before they could do it, so they did it to Carolyn instead? Well, apparently they did finish it, and he is in an immortal robot. And just like GLaDOS, he went insane and tried killing people. He, however, wasn't connected to the mainframe and was just left there, alone, for years, until you shoot up and he tells you to kill him, but you fail. He falls and ends up alone, underground. Again, do I feel bad for him? Kinda. He's alone and immortal, but I mean, he was killing people. But it does raise some questions, like if he was a robot, why did they make Carolyn a robot? Why hook her up with the facility but not Cave Johnson? Where is Portal 3? I need answers. Based on the fact that a game adding lore to the series just came out, and the fact both Portal games are being ported to the Switch, makes me think that Portal 3 is coming soon. Hopefully, but this video isn't about Portal 3, it's about Portal 1 and 2. But that's all I have to say about these games. I've said all I have to say about these games. Both Portal 1 and 2 are works of art, and everyone should play them. But I've made my point, and explained what I thought. But if I had to describe this franchise in one sentence, it would be,
This was a triumph. I'm making a note here, huge success. It's hard to overstate my satisfaction. Aperture science. We do what we must because we can. For the good of all of us, except the ones who are dead.